All right, folks, you asked, you begged for the Ruckus to return. The original Ruckus.
The original.
Yeah, that's right. You got to talk like that. Now
I got to be close.
We're on this thing called the internet television now.
Yeah.
It's no longer audio, man. So people now know how grotesquely ungood looking we both are.
Now they know why we're not on TV.
That's right. Gabe Farias and Shane Meling, the original. Nothing against Sean Norris, who I love. We both love dearly.
Yeah. He'll watch.
We did kind of a stint of the Ruckus for a little bit, Texas Sports Productions, and this will probably end up on that platform. But it was a Sunday. We thought, you know what? A lot of stuff's going on. You and I hadn't seen each other.
I know.
In forever.
Probably since before
COVID, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been vaccinated yet?
Yeah, I got
so
vaccinated.
have I.
Yeah.
And this is great. Little PSA, the CDC has announced if two gentlemen or women or anybody, two individuals have been vaccinated and the period has passed for which the vaccination to take its full effect has been in your system, then guess what? You're good to hang out. So you and I can get really close, and
we're
there
very
you go.
close.
Dude,
Don't be jealous, Vanessa. We didn't even talk about our shirts.
I know.
Somehow we matched.
We match, well, sort of. The color
same
schemes,
color.
The same. We would look great if we were in, I don't know, a Ryder Cup team.
Yeah.
I never have understood that. The Ryder Cup uniforms, top to bottom, are similar colors, but dudes are wearing different shirts. Why is that?
I think they give them like 12 different shirts, and you can pick whichever one you want
Something
for the
like
day.
That. All right. Well, lots to talk about on the Ruckus, but obviously we're in San Antonio, and we're going to lead off with Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
He gave about a 12.5-minute impassioned speech.
For him.
A lot of people didn't know what to expect. Were they going to expect, thank you, grab the trophy, and walk off with David Robinson sitting there going, I haven't even sat down yet.
I know.
But it was 12 minutes of love.
I thought it was really good.
A couple of things that came of that. He talked about his parents, said, my parents knew nothing about basketball, yet I learned more about the sport from them than anybody else. Just a telling couple of sentences about how important moms and dads are in your life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I thought when he said his mom, what did he say? Make your good better and your better best.
Yeah.
And like, that's basically for life. That's good life advice for whatever you're doing.
Anything you can do. Talked about Tony and Manu. They were both there. But obviously the heartstring pull was when he nearly broke down talking about Greg Popovich.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, well, you figure, I was just thinking about that because I was kind of listening to it again.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, I'm a coach now, and just thinking about the coach-player relationship, and think about them. How long was it? 18 years that they have that player-coach relationship, and I just think how close you get to your players in 1 year. And so you have 18. It's kind of an amazing just relationship apart from basketball.
2-time MVP, 3-time NBA Finals MVP, 5 titles. I don't know, 10 all-defensive teams maybe, just a ton of all-NBA teams, several all-star berths, easily one of the top players of all time. But again, it was his speech about Pop. And again, I remember something that, if I'm not mistaken, who was that? Back when they won their title back in 2014. The analysts that were there from ESPN,
it was Bill Simmons.
It was Bill Simmons was the one that started it. And what he said was, we will never see this in our lifetime. One coach, one superstar, one franchise from start to finish. He said it, and it was so, to the point where even Doug Collins snuck in and said, I was calling their first championship in 99.
Yeah.
15 years, 3 different decades.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily 30 years, but 3 different.
In 3 different decades.
In 3 different decades. 5 championships, 6 trips to the finals.
Same coach, same star player. That won't happen again.
Shane will never see that again.
No.
And it's phenomenal that we were able to see it here in San Antonio. And the phrase that comes to mind, tell me what you think when I say it was just the perfect storm for professional sports for a market the size of San Antonio.
Well, I think, like, you look at San Antonio, and I mean, it's been growing a lot recently. But to get behind one professional franchise that's run so well, and you have, before Tim Duncan, you have David Robinson. So you have these two guys, the highest of high characters, and they're amazing players and amazing teammates. and never cause any drama, and they just work hard. And I think that really a city can get behind people like that because they feel like I'm working hard every day.
Yeah.
I want to watch you and support you. And when they see the same thing from their favorite sports players and teams, that's how a city
you never had
captures it.
You never had the weird press conferences where you had a star saying, "Practice, man. Come on, man. It's practice, man. It's practice."
Those are fun to watch.
Not the game, man. It's you never had nothing against AI.
Yeah.
One of the greatest to never have a ring, along with Charles Barkley. That's a whole other topic for a whole other conversation. But you never had those moments with David Robinson or Tim Duncan. We were blessed.
Yeah.
It was the perfect storm. They bought into Pop's spirit, bought into Pop's philosophy. And back in 99, when they won that first title, people don't realize here in San Antonio how close Greg Popovich came to getting fired at the start of that championship run. They were 10-10.
They probably weren't sure if he was the right man for the job.
Well, they were 500. They were talking about Doc Rivers taking over that team. And he was incredibly close to getting popped from, no pun intended, from that point to being regarded as one of the top 2-3 of the greatest NBA basketball coaches of all time.
I would say top 3.
I think he's number 1.
Well, I think you have it's different eras, but I would think you'd have Red Auerbach and Pop, and then Phil Jackson would be.
When it's all said and done, Pop will have the most wins in the history of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
5 titles, 6 trips to the finals, 1 franchise. Jackson did it with 2 different franchises, but he also had Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant anchoring both of those.
It's different.
So
that's where I feel like Red Auerbach is the one who he basically started the NBA, saved the NBA. Even when he was done coaching, then he put together the Celtics teams that won, 5 or 6 more titles after he stopped coaching. So, and I feel like if you're the face of the NBA for that long, I feel like I'm okay giving him the top spot, Red Auerbach.
Not sure it was Don Harris. I saw a post on Twitter, but the post basically said, you put Tim Duncan and his body of work, his Hall of Fame body of work, as is. You put him in L.A., or you put him in Boston, or hell, you even put him in Chicago, and he does what he does. Same body of work, top to bottom. Where is he as far as greatest of all time? Because right now people have him 6th, 7th. There's an argument to be made. If he does that in Boston, if he does what he does, he is 2 behind Jordan.
Obviously being in
a big market
where you have all these writers that would now keep writing about it and write about it, you hear about it.
What does he do if he does this at the Knicks?
Well, if he was at the Knicks, all the New York people would say he's the greatest player ever
of all time. But that's
because they would be false Knicks fans. Or
okay. Whatever. Wow, you are. Well, you take this Chicago thing serious, don't you?
Well, what? I would still say Michael Jordan's the best.
And I agree. I don't disagree with that. I think MJ is the greatest. By the way, if you get a chance, check out Saturday Night Live from this last weekend. Very funny parody on The Last Dance. If you get a chance on SNL.
I'll have to look it up.
But if he plays in New York, he is considered the 2nd greatest basketball player of all time. Do you agree? Would you agree?
I feel like it's really hard to get past Bill Russell as the 2nd best just because he won 11 titles in 13 years. But it's all, with all this stuff, it's up for argument because they're different time periods.
Yeah.
So if you were just saying based on current, his,
very subjective. I get it.
His what he can do if you put him back in a time machine, but I think you have to compare him based on their eras.
But he's at least the top 2 or 3. He's at least top 1, 2, or 3.
I think he's in right now. I probably have him around 5th.
With who ahead? Obviously,
I would have Michael and Kareem and Bill Russell, and then I have to figure out who I would have as my 4th.
Yeah, the thing I like. I would put Kareem. This is the beautiful thing, and we're not going to stop here. So our little downtown studio is next to a railroad. I'm like,
I can hear it.
So you're selling. You're giving us that office at I don't know, $85 a month? Man, why is
Great.
that? Yeah, well, we're about to hear that choo-choo come through here, and it's fine, whatever.
That's all right.
I think Kareem, man, is number 2 on that list.
Yeah.
I think first what he did with Milwaukee, then he goes to the Lakers, and then he had easily the most unstoppable shot
Yeah.
in the history of the league.
The most consistent and easiest 2 points in the game ever.
Skyhook.
And he was MVP of the finals 14 years apart from each other.
Wow. Just phenomenal. I think he's 2. I think Duncan's 3. That's my maybe because I'm a San Antonio homer kind of guy.
Could be.
I mean, you got Scottie Pippen at 6. I mean, come on, man.
I don't have
Come
Scottie
on, man.
at
It's
6.
practice, man.
I will say this about Tim Duncan.
Practice.
So
Practice,
I moved
man.
here. I moved to San Antonio in 2012.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was excited about was getting to watch Spurs games and seeing Tim Duncan play consistently. So that first year I was here was the year they lost in the finals to the Heat.
Okay.
And I think I went to 15 games that year.
Wow.
And they only lost 1. It was like the last home game of the season. But I just really liked watching how the Spurs played.
Sure.
And you can just see it's fun to watch teams that have great communication, great respect for each other, and just kind of play the ball the way you want to see it played.
It's practice, man. Practice. By the way, watch Ted Lasso. He has a nice little parody of that.
Oh, does he?
It's practice, man. Practice. Soliloquy, if you will.
Your favorite show.
It is my favorite. It is, folks, watch Ted Lasso on Apple TV. It is the best show of the year and of any year in the history of television. Knock and mash and none of these. It is Ted. I'm telling you, you watch it, Shane. You're going to call me and say, all 3 of my brothers are like, what? It looks so stupid. They watched it and they said it was the best show ever.
Well, it's funny that it's based on a commercial, right?
It
It came
is.
out because of a commercial.
And the first thing you think of is going to be like the Geico Cape Man commercial. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Best show in the history of television. It's
That's-
practice, man. Practice.
You know what I've been watching on TV?
Yeah?
Formula One. It's called like the dry. It's their Netflix show. The Formula One Netflix show.
Yeah.
It's really good.
There's like 752 original Netflix shows.
I know there's a lot, but I found it. And what's nice about
Yeah.
Formula One, there's only 10 teams, 20 drivers.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to pick up
Wow.
who's who.
Did not know. I watched Ted Lasso and My Little Pony. Those are my 2 shows. Yeah. Yeah, Rainbow Fire or
Yeah.
Rainbow Fish or Rainbow whatever.
Nice.
Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash.
We don't get a whole lot of.
She's sassy.
We don't get a whole lot out of my house.
She's sassy. From Tim Duncan to the San Antonio Spurs. By the way, it's the Ruckus, Gabe, Farias, Shane Meling. Just in case, because you're probably watching on a recorder device and you're sitting there going, what the hell am I watching again? These 2 idiots are just ranting on. Spurs, they made the play-in.
Yeah.
Is that really making the playoffs? So I don't think so.
I think it's I would still not consider a full-on playoff appearance unless you get into the top 8.
So the Spurs are at 10. Memphis is at 9. Golden State's at 8. And the Los Angeles Lakers
So it
are
looks
at
like
7.
it looks like Golden State and Memphis still have a game left, so those could switch.
Really?
They're both 38 and 33.
Oh, wow.
I think they both have one more game left. The Spurs are all done, so they're probably playing today or tonight.
So people ask how that's worked. I actually did some research.
I can explain how it works.
Can I do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Let me explain, because you're kind of the sports smart person of this, because
Yeah.
you got the village idiot and you got the smart guy, right?
I guess.
And the good
You're
looks.
pretty smart.
I might. So 7
Yeah.
plays 8. In this case, right now, it'd be the Lakers take on Golden State.
I kind of want to see that game.
The winner of that game earns the 7th spot.
Right.
The loser of that game, we'll put them off for a second. 9 plays 10.
Mhm.
Loser, obviously eliminated.
Yep.
The winner plays 8, or the winner plays the loser of the other game for the number 8 seed.
Right.
I like it. It's
like it.
It's the closest thing to not relegation in soccer, but what it does is it creates meaningful games at the end of the season for teams that would normally play in half-empty stadiums where nobody cares.
Exactly. Well, like I'm just looking at the standings, and it's been Dallas and Portland and the Lakers going back and forth between 5th, 6th, and 7th. And even like today, I'm looking, the Trailblazers and Lakers have the exact same record.
Yeah.
But I think the Trailblazers have the tiebreaker over them.
Yeah. So right now, the Spurs, I mean, they're not going to win the NBA championship this year. Obviously, Utah is incredibly good. Brooklyn is scurry good.
And Phoenix is really good.
Phoenix is really good. In the East, you also have Milwaukee, who's really, 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 really
the Sixers
good.
have the best record in the East too.
Do they really?
Yeah.
So the Sixers are great. I mean, the Spurs aren't going to win, but I like the core of this young team. Obviously, it's DeMar DeRozan's team. He's still playing at a very high level. You have DeJounte Murray. You've got Derek White, who's hurt, will be coming back. The best of the bunch, though, I think, is Keldon Johnson. I think I think that guy's got some mean in him. He's an excellent basketball player. They picked him up at the bottom of the draft, bottom of the first round, like they normally do.
2 years
fines.
ago?
Yeah, a couple years ago. And I just think he's going to be a phenomenal talent for the Spurs. You got Devin Vassell, who's really good. Rudy Gay. Yeah, you know, they've got a puncher's chance to not only get the 8th seed, but give a team like Utah or Phoenix, whoever finishes first, a scare, maybe? Or you think we're a year away or two?
Yeah, I think you.
And a
I don't know if
superstar.
this year they could. Yeah, I don't know if this year they can give one of those top 2 teams a scare, but
Well, here's what's going to end up happening. They're going to hopefully get into the 8th seed. They're going to make the play-in tournament, and they're going to have a whole lot of money to spend with the departure of LaMarcus Aldridge and with whatever they're going to do with DeMar DeRozan.
Do you think they'll re-sign him?
Well, when they do re-sign guys like that, they normally get them at a deal.
Yeah.
If DeMar, who's still playing at a high level, wants to stay with the Spurs, he's going to have to stay at a less than max contract, or go somewhere
Who will offer
like
him?
LA, like the Clippers, who will offer him a max deal. So it's really going to be up to him. I like him way more than when he came to the Spurs.
Yeah, he's like expanded his game a lot.
Yeah, an excellent player, an incredible passer, like one of the best passing guys.
His assist rate has gone way up the last couple of years.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
Predictions?
it'll be fun.
NBA final predictions?
NBA Finals.
It's practice,
so hard.
man.
It's hard. So
It's
hard.
practice.
I think I like the Bucks in the East, honestly.
Okay.
But Brooklyn, if all 3 guys are playing, it's hard. I see it being very hard to meet. But I don't know if you can get all 3 guys going the whole time.
It's just hard.
Because Durant keeps having injuries.
Man.
I think they'll be okay with that. Durant keeps having injuries, and you never know when Kyrie's just going to flake out. And then Harden has his, in the biggest moments role where he hasn't been great. Although I feel like Harden can get them to that point, and then if Durant is there, I think Durant can win it.
The Bucks and the Jazz in the lowest rated NBA finals
Ever
in the history of sports.
Maybe.
It's going to be so bad.
Do you think? I don't know if the Jazz will. I don't think the Jazz will get there.
They're good, man.
Yeah,
they are favors. They are.
Do you think they have another level though
Conley,
to go up?
Gobert. I mean, they're good.
Yeah,
they got a great coach. They're very well coached.
They're good. I know that. I don't know. We'll
right.
see.
Well,
we'll see if they have that playoff.
I say Bucks, Jazz. Who do you say?
So I'll say Bucks, and man, the West is so tough to pick.
You can't
I
just
feel like I feel like I should pick the Lakers if they're healthy, but will they be healthy?
Yeah,
that's the big question. I'll say the Suns.
Okay, there you go. All right, did you like mini, mighty, mo?
I was just kind of like, I was rolling the dice in my head to see which one it popped up.
All right, last topic for our inaugural Welcome Back Cotter Ruckus is Leicester City. I've become somewhat of a soccer fan.
Which is funny to think.
Through Ted Lasso, the show. Like, I've become a footballist life. Cristo Fernandez, Brett Goldstein. That is a fantastic show. Please, for the love of God, watch it.
I don't have
That's
Apple
your homework.
TV. I don't have Apple TV.
I'll give you my password.
Okay, you can send me the password. I'll watch it.
Let you my password.
Perfect.
Is that breaking the law? Did I just commit to a crime?
I mean, we're practically family. I share my passwords with my family.
Yeah, because we look exactly alike.
No, I married into your family. My wife looks a lot more like you.
She does. And my wife looks a lot like you.
Maybe me and your wife are, cousins.
Distant cousins?
Yeah.
Y'all are both Caucasian.
We both have blonde hair.
Y'all are very Caucasian.
We're both very white.
Vanessa and I are very Latino.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah, but you guys are very, very, very white. Both of you.
We get sunburned.
Yeah. Yeah, like the color of y'all skin isn't white. It's like chalk. Yeah. I think it's, that's
what happens when you're Norwegian.
I'm teasing. Really, and it's as white as it gets.
Yeah.
Leicester City just won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
5 years ago, they were 5,000 to 1 odds to win the Premier League, and they did. I can't even begin to talk about a relatable type of situation in the United States.
I don't think there is, because in our professional leagues, there's at
least some parity.
There's some parity. We have drafts, which basically creates parity.
Okay.
And then we don't have a city the size of Leicester that's like a major, has a major team, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it was really, I actually was paying close attention that year.
So it'd be like if Abilene,
yeah,
Texas,
it'd be like Abilene wins the NBA title.
Yeah, okay.
That would be
the Abilene
similar.
Rough Riders.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Or like when they had the old arena football teams.
Yeah.
Like an AF2 team, works its way up. They win arena football too. Then they win regular arena football. And then they're like, okay, we're going to put you in the NFL this year.
And they win the Super Bowl.
And then 3 years later, they win the Super Bowl.
It's phenomenal. I mean, 5,000 to 1 odds is crazy. But they've gone from that point of being 5,000 to 1 long shots, winning the Premier League, to winning the FA Cup. There's an argument to be made. They're a top 5 Premier League team and program.
Oh, they are.
Right
They've made the Champions League a couple different times. They're going to make it again this year. They're third in the Premier League. So they've been, ever since they've won, they've been in contention. They haven't won it again, but a lot of teams haven't won it since then.
Incredibly emotional to watch how they won, but even more so than that, Shane, it was great to see fans at Wembley.
I think that's why the FA Cup was so big this year, was because there haven't been fans.
Fans got to go.
It was finally, they had 21,000 people there.
21,000 people there.
For a 105,000 seat stadium or something like that. But it still looked amazing.
When the game-winning goal happened, it was pure emotion. And one of the things I felt, just as a fan of sports, is, we're so close to being back.
Yeah.
Just so close to being back.
Well, another reason why it'd be so big is because Chelsea was one of the teams that the Super League had picked. And so all the fans in England are going crazy. And so the fact that Leicester beat them.
Yeah.
And Leicester,
probably
left
the
behind.
Biggest reason why a Super League was bad.
Yeah. It takes away from each of the domestic leagues.
Yeah.
And especially, I feel like in Europe, soccer is definitely the number one thing. Whereas here we have, baseball, basketball, football, hockey. We have lots of big leagues. But over there, only soccer is the big league. Curious
to see what the ratings were for that game, Leicester and Chelsea in the FA Cup. Because those ratings are like, Super Bowl is minuscule compared to some of those Premier League soccer ratings. Because it's a global sport.
Yeah. I don't know, because it's FA Cup, so that's England. But I bet you in England it has had like a gigantic rating.
It's practice, man. Practice. All right, brother. That's gonna.
Can we talk NFL quickly?
Whatever. We're talking Premier League soccer here.
Now we're gonna, usually you're the one that has to bring us back to like the NFL.
Now I know.
Now it's me. Our roles have
Cowboys
reversed.
are winning the Super Bowl. They got the second easiest schedule this year. They're winning the Super Bowl. It's happening.
So
folks,
two things I want to talk about. First, the Bears.
Oh my God.
Could I just say, normally, coming out of a draft, Bears fans were depressed. We're like going in. My dad was like, "We're not going to get anybody. We're going to be bad. I don't even. What's going on? We're probably going to trade 12 guys and get a backup quarterback somewhere." And then when we traded up to get Justin Fields at 11, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It brought my family together because my sister. My sister and her husband live in Columbus. They're huge Ohio State fans. So it healed a rift, Gabe, that didn't even exist.
The family came together.
There was no rift,
of the draft.
But Dawn has already purchased one Justin Fields. She already has one Justin Fields jersey, and she's going to get the second color. But she said she's going to wait for at least 1 year. She says, you don't want to buy two jerseys of the same guy in case he flames out immediately.
Kind of like when I bought, both white and brown Johnny Manziel jerseys.
Yes.
Yeah, how did that work out for me?
Exactly.
Yeah, by the way, you never buy secondhand NFL jerseys from
China.
This place called Takayaka, Japan. Because, first of all, what's 5 times XL to them is not 5 times XL to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's skinny. That's a skinny.
Yes, I put it on and my arms wouldn't go down to my side. It's very sad.
And then the second thing. So
Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl?
Maybe, I don't know. But
whatever.
Smithson Valley, where I teach.
Yes, good story.
So Trayvon Marig was a second-round draft pick of the Las Vegas Raiders. My first year of teaching there, I taught him in Algebra 2, and I also was his long jump coach.
Fantastic.
His junior year. And his sister played basketball for me for 4 years. So
that is wonderful.
It's kind of cool to see him in the NFL.
I had a chance, my little kind of shout out, I had a chance to meet Josh Reynolds, who is one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. Congratulations to Josh getting that contract with who is going to be a really good Tennessee team this year. Fits right into what they're doing out there, but he's a J kid, went to A&M. Just a great story for a great kid getting a good contract. Fun stuff. I'm excited about the NFL season.
I know, me too. I feel like by midsummer, everyone's going to feel like it's back to normal.
I think so.
I've been watching baseball. I'm already like, I'm ready to go to a game.
If you watch the Canelo Alvarez fight a couple of weeks ago, it was to a packed Jerry World, 73,000 people.
Nice.
The most fans. See our little cameras blinking, which is telling me it's about to die. The most people to watch a fight indoors ever. It was awesome. But folks, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Comeback Ruckus. For Shane Meling, I'm Gabe Farias. Folks, have fun.